industries in the mid-2000s to jump into doing business with Muammar Gaddafi again after he was rehabilitated, so to speak. So I wonder how that trust can be built, that governments won't just simply back more dictators and autocrats.
You know, what happens today under our eyes, in front of our eyes, goes beyond all calculations and all miscalculations. The intellectuals, as me, the journalists as you, the statesmen like Sarkozy, we are all overwhelmed by the new law. The new law is the law of the peoples. The people of Tunisia, the people of Egypt, the people of Libya now, they are putting the new law. It will be very difficult now to make blow jobs to dictators in the Arab world when we are a European government. It will be more and more difficult because the world has changed. This event is the first huge event of the 21st century. This wind of liberty, this trend of freedom in the Arab world, which was unconceivable, which was prospected by nobody, which was announced by no expert. We have so many experts of Islamology, none of them had previewed what is happening. This is the new law. The new rule of the game is that you will have some movements back and forth, of course, also. You will have some freezing of the revolution and then some warming again. But the new tendency goes in this sense, for one reason. The people of Tunisia, first one, we must not forget that, has no longer fear. And when the fear is out of the heads, it does not go back so easily. No fear in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Libya. In Libya, I was on the front line. I was in Benghazi. I saw these young boys who never, like in Bosnia 15 years ago, who had never a weapon in their hands, who did not even know how it works, but who, to defend their fatherland, to defend their families, and to defend the value which they embody now, they were ready to take the risk of death. When this happened to a people, there is no real movement back possible.
Do you think, Monsieur Levy, that there is a final decision on the outcome? Because there still seems to be uncertainty which way things are going to go. Egypt still hasn't stabilized. Tunisia, to a large degree, still hasn't fully stabilized. There's a fear that there will be a domino effect with this spreading across the region, across the Arab region, and perhaps even going wider and affecting other countries around the world. What is your view on that?
I think, first of all, in the three countries which you evoke, again, there can be some movements, of course, some crispations, some movements backward, but the real trend is onward. I believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. I pray that I am not, but I believe that the full trend, the deep trend, is forward, and that the liberty which has been conquered by these people, they will not resign, they will not abandon, they will not accept to drop it, whatever happens. Will there be a domino effect? I believe it also, of course. There will be, you know, there was a thesis since a few weeks that there was an Arab exception. There was a thesis in the Western world, you saw that in the bullshit theory of Huntington and so on, that the Arab world was condemned to authoritarianism, that the Arab world was stranger to the idea of liberty and of individualism, that there was a sort of cultural contradiction and metaphysical opposition between the values of the individuality and the Arab culture. This has completely split out. There is nothing remaining of this stupid building of false concepts. This is over. This story is over. Ridiculous. I never bought this theory. And all my life, I did fight against this idea that democracy was good for these and not good for those, or that you had some religious landscapes which prevented you to reach enlightenment, and especially in Islam. I plead, since I am a Jew, and I am a friend of Israel, but I plead since decades for not only the possibility, but for the probability of an age of enlightenment in Islam. I say, and I repeat, since ages, when I was in Afghanistan, when I was in Pakistan, when I was in Algeria 10 years ago, in the most dark moment of the history of Algeria, when the Islamist commandos killed and raped the woman and the babies, I said that these obscurantist, fundamentalist and fanatics movements were the past. It was a past who took time to die, of course, and in the process of dying killed a lot, but that the future is an age of enlightenment. We are at this point. The enlightenment begins today in the Arab world, and then everything is possible. Democracy, peace, new relationship with Europe, new relationship with Israel, peace, and not only with Egypt, and so on. And I'm so happy of what is happening.
Well, Mr. Levy, while I have you a couple of minutes left, I want to, of course, you have your fans and you have your critics. I want to put one email that came in from a viewer that is critical and give you a chance to address it. It's from Amin Yusen, who wrote in saying, Mr. Levy is a guided missile at the hands of Israel's diplomatic apparatus, nothing more than a French version of AIPAC. After his activities on Iran's, quote, thirst for democracy, his involvement in Libya is deeply troubling. I wonder, when you face this kind of criticism about what your involvement is, how do you address that?
Number one, wrong information. If I am close to something, it is not to AIPAC, it is to J Street, because I am one of the founders of the French equivalent of J Street, which is J Cole. This is a point of information, but you are not obliged to know. I tell it to you. I am the agent of nobody. I am the agent of no diplomacy. I am a writer, a free spirit, and I am the agent of myself and what I believe to be the right and the truth. And sometimes, as these days, coming back from Libya, I feel, and it is for me a great honor and a great honor, I feel the emissary of some women and men who allowed me to be the witness of their suffering, of their hope, and of their fight. And my only goal these days, when I met Nicolas Sarkozy 2 days ago, and I meet you today, when